Abroad now, and if you go to Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, you will probably see the statue of the Motherland. It's a 300-foot steel monument. It towers across the city. However, it's just gone through a significant change. To tell us, I'm joined by Ewan MacDonald, who is a journalist based in Kyiv. Ewan, firstly, tell us, if you would, the history of this statue.
Hello. Batkivshina Mati is the name of the statue. It was opened in 1981 by the then Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev. So it stood over the Dnipro, looking over the east of the city for 42 years. And all that time it's held aloft a sword and a shield. And on that shield was a Soviet coat of arms with a hammer and sickle on it. Now, in Ukraine, for a number of years, symbols of totalitarianism, which includes the Nazi swastika and the Soviet hammer and sickle, have been banned. But the monument was exempted from this ban because it was a Second World War monument. But that has changed now because the Ukrainian parliament changed the law on May 3rd to allow that symbol to be removed and replaced with a state symbol of Ukraine, the Trizub or trident.
And what's changed? So what has happened then? What's been happening?
Well, as I say, this symbol of communism has been up for 42 years. But in Ukraine, a lot of people regard the Soviet Union as simply another incarnation of the Russian Empire. So, obviously with a full-scale invasion and war, which started more than a year ago, people didn't want to see this symbol anymore over the city because they saw it as basically a symbol of Russian imperialism. So,
and these changes, I presume, have been welcomed by the citizens of Ukraine and Kyiv then?
Yeah, I've seen polls where about 85% of the people approved of it. It was voted on through the government's electronic services application. That's where the decision basically was taken. So I think there's overwhelming support for decommunizing the statue and putting the Ukrainian state symbol on it. I haven't seen any reaction officially from the Russian government, but there's a bizarre video circulating on social media made in Russia showing a giant hand reaching into the center of Vladivostok and picking up a Matryoshka doll and using a suspension bridge to fire it at the statue, smashing off the Trizub and replacing it back again with the Soviet crest. So I think the Russians are probably I can't say exactly, but I would suspect many Russians would frown upon this change to the statue.
And Ewan, just briefly, can other Soviet-era monuments across Ukraine perhaps expect such similar treatment?
Possibly, but as I said, Second World War monuments are exempt. And obviously, Ukraine played a big part in the Second World War in defeating the Nazis. So I think the monument in Kyiv is a special case because it is so large. It's like 102 meters from the bottom of its plinth to the top of its sword. And they've also changed the name from Motherland, Mother, to Ukraina Mati, which is Ukraine Mother. So even the name of it is being changed to symbolize this rejection of Russian imperialism.
Okay, well, Ewan, thanks very much for joining us.